Hello everybody and welcome back to a final time here from Braunschweig, the very last regional in this video game circuit. We are in the final. We do have Michael Richard against Matthias Sukodolski, two very known Pokémon veterans. Both of them already made it to a couple World Championships, and both of them already sealed up their invitation to the second day of this year's World Championship as well. I am joined by Barish Akshos. How are you doing, man?
Hi guys, I'm fine, thank you. Let's talk about Matthias Sukodolski.
Yeah, sure. Oh my gosh.
He's playing his third regional final in this season.
Yes, he was able to make it to the finals of all the Arena Cups that happened in this season already. He was in the finals of Würzburg as well as in Berlin. Both of those regionals were still held in the VGC 15 format, but now, of course, also in 2016, he is back to the table with a very interesting team. Both of the players are running a dual primal team featuring both the Kyogre as well as the Groudon. And yeah, both of them, though, decided to switch things up a little bit. Michael running a more conservative version, more standard, I would say. The same 6 Pokemon that Alejandro Gomez used at the UK National Championships to win the title, exactly. But yeah, what about Matthias's team?
So yeah, Matthias opted for a different supporter in Whimsicott.
Okay.
And he has Ferrothorn.
Yeah, very interesting. So he does not have the Salamence and the Thundurus that Michael has, making Kangaskhan his only Mega Pokemon. So we will probably see it, and yep, it already makes an appearance as the leads do come out here. For Matthias, we see Kangaskhan and Cresselia, and for his opponent, Michael, we do see Groudon and Thundurus.
Alright, yeah. Kangaskhan is pretty bulky with 207 HP.
Yeah, that's a lot of HP. I think I might have, yeah, I saw that Kangaskhan over the course of this tournament take a couple of attacks that I did not expect it to take. But I'm sure at this point in the tournament, Michael is probably aware of this. But yeah, with his Groudon, depending on how it is trained, it can still do a lot of damage to Kangaskhan with the boosted fire type attacks. But then we also do, of course, have the Kyogre potentially in back for Matthias. So yeah, interesting to see that Michael decided to lead off with his Groudon straight away.
Yeah, and Matthias, Kangaskhan I told you about, he's pretty bulky. And most players opted to play a pretty fast Kangaskhan in their dual primal team. But Matthias wanted to use his Kangaskhan also in Trick Room. Yeah,
that is a very interesting thing. He does have multiple speed control options, of course. Speaking about it, Thunder Wave coming out the first turn from Michael. He does not stop. He keeps on going where he left off in that semifinals against Ying. Just a lot of Thunder Waves being spread all over the place. Groudon actually being faster than that Kangaskhan, and Double Edge with its Citrus Berry probably not enough to knock out the Thundurus.
Yeah, and this is a pretty aggressive turn 1. So we see Fire Punch and Double Edge and 2 probably exactly.
Yep, there is the Trick Room coming out.
There's the Trick Room. So Thunder Wave, Trick Room, Double Edge, Fire Punch.
Yeah, the very, very aggressive turn. No fake outs, no protects, no switches, no anything. Both players try to bring themselves in a position where they do have the speed advantage the next turn. Thunder Wave probably indicating that Matthias might suspect the Mental Herb being the item of choice here on the Cresselia. And yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if he had some information about this already, since both of those players already faced each other in the Swiss rounds already.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw Kangaskhan was slower than Groudon in turn 1, but it was not Mega Evolved at this point.
Yes.
So probably now in this turn 2, Kangaskhan could be faster than Groudon.
Yeah, after the Trick Room, so that is a very interesting thing. Yeah, interested in knowing whether those players were already figuring things out in their Swiss game, but it looks like Michael wants to preserve his Groudon for later on, and either does not want to find out, or he knows that his opponent's Kangaskhan is still faster, opts to go into his Salamence. Once again, the Intimidate ability, of course, doing its work, lowering his opponent's Kangaskhan's attack stat.
And Kangaskhan probably will only get 1 attack more off before he dies to his own recoil?
Yeah, of course, Double Edge doing a lot of damage, but then, of course, on the other hand, you also take a lot of recoil damage. Yeah, maybe we might also have something like Helping Hand on that Cresselia to help the Kangaskhan out even more. But yeah, we will see the double switch here coming out from Michael, though. So he wants to make sure that this Kangaskhan, upon fainting, will not do as much damage, but Matthias wisely opted to go for the Sucker Punch, and we do see the Ice Punch into the Kyogre, though.
Yeah, so I think Matthias expected a switch from one of his mons and probably bring in a Salamence on the spot, so he just Ice Beamed. And Michael was pretty lucky not to take this Ice Beam with his Salamence.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he also thought about stuff like that, so he wanted to make sure that if there was a potential Ice type attack coming out of the Cresselia, if it was Ice Beam, maybe he already knew from the Swiss game that he did not want to switch the Salamence into the slot where the Thundurus was, which is another flying type Pokemon and of course a primary target of those Ice Beams.
Yeah, and seeing Sucker Punch from Kangaskhan is probably a sign that this Kangaskhan is actually not faster or slower in Trick Room than this Groudon.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And we will see how this Kyogre and the Kangaskhan match in terms of speed tiers. The Salamence opting to go Mega, I would be surprised if it did not protect this turn, but nope, no protect coming out, and we do see the Sucker Punch once again. This time on the Salamence though, very aggressive play. And with an Ice Beam, that should be enough, but we do see the full paralysis coming out on that Cresselia.
Yeah, and while Michael could not really profit from his Thunder Waves in the semifinals, where he only could use it to lower the speed of the monster.
Yes.
In this case, it's the first fully paralyzed in the...
Yes, and also Hyper Voice and Origin Pulse, wow, dealing so much damage to even something that is so bulky, such like Cresselia. Kangaskhan going down in the process, and now... Michael is in a pretty decent spot. Matthias, though, still does have that Trick Room up and running, so he can just send out his Groudon, the next very strong attacker. But facing down Salamence and Kyogre is not the ideal matchup for a Groudon.
Yeah. So I expect a physical Groudon in this part. And physical Groudon with Precipice Blades, not really touching the Salamence.
Yes.
And I expect this Kyogre to be pretty bulky.
Of course, I mean, you definitely want to have your Kyogre pretty bulky. Having multiple ways of speed control, you can afford not to run, not to train it as much in speed. Something that could work into Matthias' favor here could be potential Gravity coming out from the Cresselia. Now, this is a little bit of like a far-fetched analysis probably, but seeing as Michael did not go ahead and taunt it, but instead opted to go for the Thunder Wave, seeing that a Mental Herb is a possibility on this Cresselia, it might be a Cresselia set that does have a lot of support options, and of course Trick Room and Gravity are two moves that you probably want to have set up, but I'm not entirely sure if we will see the Gravity coming out here, if he even has it. But it would make a lot of sense, and seeing as the Thundurus comes in, that would be a very good turn here for Matthias.
And...
we do see the skill swap though. Okay, that's another move. Of course, you also do not want your Cresselia to be taunted if you want to skill swap something. Now, giving Levitate to his Groudon, making sure that it is not affected by any Ground type attacks. So maybe that means that he does not have the Gravity move.
Exactly. And so Michael, he faced a Levitate Groudon in semifinals as well, but his Groudon was the key to win this match, and he just switched out his Kyogre.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure if Matthias can profit, so can get a huge advantage from this turn. So
this time around, Michael also did not bring his Cresselia once again, so there, with the potential Gravity on his own Cresselia, he could make the Levitate on the Groudon pretty much useless. Once again, Michael opting to go with its Salamence and Thundurus as his supportive cast, and he did not want to go with the Cresselia to go into those real Primal Mirrors with a lot of skill swaps going on, but instead Thunder Wave is what he's happy with, as it seems.
Yeah, we just see the double protect from his Salamence, right?
I think so, yes. So Taunt comes out onto the ground. He wants to make absolutely sure that there's no protect, no sword dance, no substitute, nor anything coming out here. And Thundurus goes down to that Ice Beam.
And he can just switch in his Kyogre right now and just go for attacks, because this Groudon can't protect this next turn.
Yes, Matthias also expecting his opponent Salamence to switch out here, goes for the Precipice Blades, but nope. No Kyogre switch in here, no anything. Michael just wants to make sure that his Kyogre is full and healthy once it hits the field, and yep, there it is. No chance for Matthias to go for more skill swaps, as his Cresselia is paralyzed, so definitely slower than all of his opponent's Pokemon. Groudon cannot protect, so it looks like Michael might just wrap up this game with a combination of, say, Hyper Voice and Water Spout.
Yeah, exactly. Probably also Origin Pulse, fearing a faster Groudon with a probably critical hit, Precipice Blades, which will lower the attack of Water Spout.
Yeah,
the power of Water Spout.
But it should still be enough to... I mean, Groudon is Fire type, weak to Water type attacks, so that should still do a decent amount of damage. But Matthias did not want to test his luck here. switches out into his own Kyogre that we did not see yet. Also undergoes primal reversion. But yeah, there's the Hyper Voice coming out. That should even knock out the Cresselia, so making potential Water Spout a single target attack. And yeah, Michael, despite claiming that he did not have a very good matchup, also seeing the Thunder. Wow, so now he's just showing off here, going for the Thunder into the ground slot. Wow.
And gets the fully paralyzed.
Yeah. So yeah, despite Michael saying that he might not have the best matchup against Matthias' team, he proves himself wrong, kinda, and is able to win this first game.
Yeah. So Groudon comes back and sets the sun again. But I think at this point, Salamence can just spread Hyper Voices to clinch his win in this first game.
Yeah, and it looks like Matthias wants to just forfeit the game, or he's thinking about it, whether there's still a piece of information left. Okay, changes his mind here. So maybe there's still something he wants to figure out. Maybe the speed tiers between the Groudon and his opponent's Kyogre is something that could be interesting going into the upcoming games. Or maybe he wants to prevent his opponent from getting this information and forfeits. But yeah, he goes for the forfeit. And Michael is able to take the first game. And oh wow, once again, it looks like Matthias might be the runner-up of an Arena Cup again. He already got 2 of those nice second-place trophies.
Yeah, I told you he was in finals. This is his third finals right now, but
yes.
he lost both of those finals.
Yeah, there he is. He really does not want history to repeat once again. Michael, on the other hand, it's his first Arena Cup final. And yeah, he's looking really strong here, and it looks like he might have enough. He might have what it takes to take home this regional as well.
Yeah, and he's just 1 win away from his first regional championship.
Yes, so, okay, Matthias can make some adaptations. I do think Michael also won their encounter in Swiss, so yeah, he was able to overcome that matchup already. We could see Whimsicott make an appearance here, but I'm not entirely sure if this matchup is exactly what Matthias planned on going for, since, yeah, his Whimsicott usually known to go for, like, Tailwind. And he wants to have like a hard form of suit control. Like Icy Wind is probably not enough with his team, like all of his Pokemon being so bulky. So he either wants to have the Trick Room up or the Tailwind. And it looks like his opponent's team, though, having that Thunder was available to Michael, he can go for Taunt, he can go for Thunder Waves, and he can prevent that Whimsicott from really accomplishing too much. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what Matthias could do to switch things up.
I expect a Ferrothorn in this game because Kyogre was again the key for his victory.
Yes.
So, yeah, seeing Kangaskhan and Cresselia, I expect Kyogre and Ferrothorn in the back.
Okay, the Ferrothorn, that could be something, yeah, that could make a difference here in this matchup. We've seen it time and times, the Ferrothorn just so great against teams centered around Kyogre. But Michael, on the other hand, of course, also has that Groudon. And I think, yeah, this whole dynamic, this whole matchup, kind of, yeah, like, it all comes down to whether you're able to KO your opponent's Groudon before they can harm yours.
Exactly.
And then bring your Kyogre in a good position in the end game to launch those water type attacks. Yeah. And it looks like both trainers are satisfied with the Pokemon choices they made in the first game. But yeah, once again, you mentioned it, maybe there could be an adaptation to make for Matthias as for the Pokemon that he brought in the back.
Yeah, so I expect Kyogre in the back, what I told you before, and I think you just need to take care of this Groudon, and once this Groudon is KO'd, he can just bring in his Ferrothorn.
Yes.
Which is then in a good position, only fearing the Hyper Voice and Double Edges from Salamence. Also, Thundurus can really touch the Ferrothorn.
Yeah, it can't really do too much. I mean, it can go for like Taunt and prevent potential Leech Seed. But yeah, let's see what will happen this first turn. Maybe we will see a Fake Out around this time, as there is the Mega Evolution, the baby coming out of the pouch. And he goes for the Fake Out and will hit the Groudon, interestingly enough. And then Thundurus will most likely once again go for that Thunder Wave. Yup, there it is. Hits the Cresselia once again, so he might also want to play with his chances here a little bit. Maybe the Cresselia is fully paralyzed and cannot attack, but the Trick Room comes out here on Matthias' end, and that is probably a much better first turn than what we saw in the first game.
Yeah, not risking this Fire Punch on his Kangaskhan brings him to a position where his Kangaskhan is full health right now. And he needs to take out this Thundurus right now. Probably Helping Hand Double Edge going into Thundurus. And this turn, just to take it out, will be pretty close with this Thundurus carrying Citrus Berry. Yeah,
we did not see Cresselia's last move. So yeah, Helping Hand still an option here. Yeah, he could also try and just get off a lot of damage on his opponent's Groudon here, as that is really the main threat as we identified. Thunderous once again cannot really do too much here, apart from trying to get a little bit lucky with some full paralysis. But yeah, another Thunder Wave on the Kangaskhan, yeah, probably wouldn't do too much. And he goes for the taunt here into the Cresselia slot, and now we will probably get confirmation up. Yeah, there it is, the Mental Herb.
The Mental Herb, yeah. We have not seen Lumberry before, and not either Citrus Berry.
Yep.
So this have to be Mental Herb, and it is.
Yeah, it was pretty safe to assume. So Groudon of Michael is actually faster here than Matthias's Kangaskhan, so wisely enough, Michael did not decide to launch the Thunder Wave in that slot. So yeah, that is an interesting dynamic that you mentioned in the first game. Before the Mega Evolution, it looks like yeah, the Groudon is faster, and now after the Mega Evolution, Groudon is still faster because the Trick Room is in play.
Exactly. Yeah, and he could take out this Thundurus, and Thundurus only can launch a taunt on this Cresselia.
Yeah, that was then of course yeah, the Mental Herb also prevented any effects from that. But now he invested a lot. Like he went for the Ice Beam as well as the Double Edge into the Thundurus. Probably he was anticipating a Protect coming out from his opponent's Groudon. But yeah, now despite the Citrus Berry, that Thundurus goes down. But as we mentioned before, Thundurus is probably not the most important Pokemon in this matchup here for Michael. And yeah, now even though Matthias was the one to set up the Trick Room, Michael's Groudon really looking strong right now.
And together with his Salamence and Groudon being faster in Trick Room than Kangaskhan, this could be a huge turn. He could just fake. He just could take out the Kangaskhan. And you mentioned Thundurus not being a huge threat to Matthias, but having Kyogre in the back, probably.
Yes.
It's a good point to have Thundurus knocked out at this point.
Yes, certainly knocking out a Pokemon always nice. But yeah, right now you mentioned it, Groudon is the second fastest Pokemon on the field. And yeah, he can just go for, say, like a Precipice Blades and then also the Hyper Voice. We saw before that Matthias tried to go for a Sucker Punch and Ice Beam play into his opponent's Salamence. So that might indicate that he has some knowledge about how his opponent's Salamence is trained. Maybe he knows that the Salamence can take an Ice Beam from his Cresselia and wanted to get off a little bit more chip damage. So interested in seeing if we will see the exact same play once again. Last time, Matthias's Cresselia was fully paralyzed, unfortunately for him. But yeah, let's see how things go around this time.
And that is fully paralyzed again.
Wow, okay, so that is really unfortunate. Precipice Blades also coming out from his opponent's Groudon, and that will definitely KO the Kangaskhan, and Salamence is free to go for any attack.
Yeah, and probably Hyper Voice. Yeah, Double Edge with a huge damage to Cresselia.
Yeah, certainly, almost 50%, and now Matthias is in an even worse position. He was not able to get off that potential Ice Beam. We're not entirely sure what he went for there, but yeah, maybe he expected his opponent to expect something like a switch into Kyogre and a Skill Swap or something, because yeah, that was a play Matthias could have made to get himself a levitating Kyogre that is invulnerable to any of his opponent's Groudon's
and that's
attack.
a Kyogre I mentioned before, and Trick Room only 2 more turns at this point, so Michael needs to make sure that he stalls out this Trick Room and then just spreads his powerful attacks.
Yes, yeah, the one objective he has left is knock out that Cresselia to prevent Trick Room from going up a second time. But yeah, if Michael manages to do some clever switching, he should be able to put himself into a position where he has his Groudon out and his opponent has no way of getting the rain up once again. And yeah, once again, Michael in a really solid position here in this game.
Yeah, Michael, I expect him to protect from his Salamence at this point and a switch to his own Kyogre to take the Origin Pulse or Water Spout from Matthias' Kyogre.
Yeah, that could definitely be a play to make. He also has to keep in mind that his opponent most likely will have his own Groudon in the back. However, you mentioned it, also there is the potential of Ferrothorn being the last Pokemon. So yeah, depending on what you expect your opponent to bring here, it probably does not really change up your play. I mean, you want to conserve your Groudon either way. But keeping Kyogre healthy would be more important if he knew that his opponent has that Groudon in the back.
And there's a switch to Kyogre, and do we see the Protect?
Yeah, let's see. Maybe he also wants to play it super aggressively, but yeah, there is the Protect coming out. Okay. And yeah, Matthias does not really have an option to deal a lot of damage here unless he has Thunder on his Kyogre, but that is not what happens. Instead, Ice Beam goes into the Protect and Water Spout coming out here.
Doing only about 25% to Michael's Kyogre.
Yeah.
And now we have the position. I expect, so there are few possibilities. Michael's Kyogre could go for a huge water attack to probably take out this Cresselia to prevent it from going to second Trick Room.
Yes.
Because the Salamence is still threatened by this Ice Beam from Cresselia. So probably a switch to Groudon would not be able to do any water attacks.
Yes. Yeah, we're in the awkward position where both trainers have only 3 Pokemon left, and both of them have their Kyogre on the field at the moment, and potentially Groudon in the back. So it really comes down to how can you plan out this endgame to not probably like block yourself and hinder yourself from doing the water type attacks you want to do. But once again, the full paralysis coming out from the Cresselia. Wow, he really wanted to take the KO, and he predicted correctly that his opponent will not switch into the ground. Goes for the water spout. Potentially also went for the skill swap there though to make sure that this attack comes off. So in the end, maybe he got what he wanted, but Origin Pulse coming out is enough to knock out the Cresselia with a critical hit. And now that Salamence can still go for another attack. And yeah, this turn was really huge for Michael, who did not go for a single protect. He did not switch out. He just went for attacks, and he wasn't punished for it.
Yeah, exactly. And Trick Room was over, and now we're at the awkward point where both have both primals. But if you have both primals on the field, you want to have the rain up, right?
Yeah, it depends. Of course, Groudon's ground-type attacks are a little bit more powerful than Kyogre's ice-type attacks.
Exactly.
So, yeah, now the sun is up, and Matthias's Kyogre can only go for Ice Beam. We already saw Icy Wind being the ice-type attack of choice for Michael here, so yeah, that doesn't really do too much damage, but setting up both of his opponent's primals for his own Groudon in the back to come in and take this game could be something that Michael might be looking into for, yeah. So Hyper Voice and Icy Wind to set his own Groudon up might be what, is Michael's game plan at this point. Yeah. Though, of course, you can also try and protect around this maybe if you're Matthias. And it'll be close.
It will be close, and I think Matthias need to make sure that he gives not a free switch in for his Groudon.
Yes.
Because at this point, Michael's Groudon coming in right now might take a Precipice Blades.
Yes,
and an Ice Beam
and there is that switch. Now, does Matthias have what it takes to punish that switch into the Groudon? We do see the Protect coming out from the Kyogre. Does not want to take a Double Edge or potential Hyper Voice from that Salamence. There is that Double Edge going into the Protect, and now what does Groudon go for? It goes for the Eruption. That will knock out the Salamence, but likely not enough to do too much damage to the Groudon, and yep, there it goes.
Yeah, and we're back at a position where Kyogre comes back in, and they're both primals, 4 primals on the field.
Yeah, we saw so much Xerneas today, so much Groudon Xerneas, but now in the end, it is those 2 or 4 guys to battle out the title. 2 Kyogre and 2 Groudon on the field, yeah, you mentioned it, and now, yeah, it's still anyone's game.
Yeah, but I think Matthias is in a better position with this full health Groudon, because he can take 1 Precipice Blades, probably also an Earth Power from a potential Earth Power from Michael's Groudon. Yeah. So it's just.
But he can most likely not take a Water type attack, and we do see Precipice Blades miss here on the Groudon of Matthias, and now Kyogre goes down for Matthias, but now will his Groudon outspeed his opponent's Kyogre, and will we see a Game 3? Nope, we do see the Origin Pulse coming out.
And it hits.
Michael's Pokemon both being faster than his opponent's Primals. Down it goes, and Michael Richard will be our regional champion here in Braunschweig, defeating Matthias Suchodolski, the 3rd runner-up trophy for Matthias. Wow, that is really something, but once again, great consistency coming out from him, and Michael Richard, once again, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to Michael for winning his first regional, and I'm sorry for Matthias not being able to win one of his 3 finals.
He knows, I've been in this position twice again. Once again, he will only be the 2nd to last person at the award ceremony, but great effort by both of those trainers. Both of them will return at the World Championship in August, and both of them sealed up their invitation today, so I'm sure that he will still be happy, and what a set.
Yeah, I mean, he has a reason to celebrate. But talking about Matthias, this is his 4th Travel Award to Worlds in a row. But the funny part is that he never won a big tournament.
Yes.
So he was always pretty solid, but no way to win a tournament so far.
Yeah, and once again he made it to the finals, only then to be crushed by Michael Richard.
Yeah, it's pretty solid 2-0 from Michael.
Yeah. And I guess that'll wrap things up here from us from Braunschweig. Thanks a lot for watching, and yeah, check out the links in the description. Yeah, visit amigoevents.de for more information about upcoming tournaments, and yeah, see you at the next set of Arena Cups or whatever tournaments there will be. But more Pokemon action will be coming.
Don't forget to tweet #PlayPokemon.
Yeah. See you soon, guys, and bye bye.